everyone, welcome back to the channel, where today we are back with the bottom 10 tech tree tanks in Cold War. Now I've made a slight mistake in this. I got the Type 85-3 and the Type 85-2 mixed up when I was looking at my written list. I have already made the Type 85-2 video, and in that video I state that it's number 5 on the list. It isn't actually number 5. The Type 85-3 is number 5. So when the Type 85-2 comes out, you're just going to have to forgive the slight blunder that I make in that video, because even though I've already recorded it, this is coming out before it. So there you go. The Type 85-3 is now truly number 5 on the list, and it's another Chinese tank. This list is basically dominated by the Chinese tech tree in Cold War, which I personally feel is a shame, especially when you consider the Type 89 tank destroyer is in that list. Again, that video is coming out fairly soon as well, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, the Chinese, they don't seem to be getting a whole lot of love from the community, and I think that's a bit of a shame, because these top tanks here, they are not bad. They're really not bad at all. And my suspicion is that when we talk about tanks, you know, you talk about tanks to your friends or anyone who's a fan of, you know, going to the tank museum or anything like that. When we talk about tanks, it's normally, oh yeah, I like the Abrams, or yeah, oh, I love the Charlie 2, or oh no, the Leopard 2A7, no, that's my thing, or the you know, other European variants of the Leopard, or, you know, Canadian variant of the Leopard, or whatever it might be. You've mentioned the Abrams, you've mentioned the Challenger, you've mentioned the Leopard. America, Britain and Germany. You know, yeah, France is in there, the Leclerc is a little less known. But when you're talking to your friends or whatever it might be about tanks, no one talks about the Chinese tanks. Really, ever. Unless you're possibly into War Thunder, and then in that game you might know more about it. But in World of Tanks console, no. Not many people even consider that the Chinese heavies are an option. And my guess is that very few, well, not even a guess, the numbers don't lie. The numbers are telling us that the Chinese tanks are not played, and that's, like I said, it's a bit of a shame, because these Era 3 heavies are good. They're not superbly good at any one thing, but they're good all-rounders. These tanks feel similar to me. They feel similar to the American line, the M1, M1A1 and the M1A2. Feels like that sort of vibe, or it's a jack of all trades, really. But the Chinese heavies, they've got competition. Now the Type 85-3 is tier 2 of Era 3, so it's got a lot of competition in the Merc 2B, T-72BM, T-80U, M1A1 Abrams, Leopard 2A4 and the Challenger 1. Now, I'm not going to put all the numbers on the screen, because if I did, you'd have nothing but numbers everywhere. So we're just going to talk really general, high-level stuff. So let's talk about the gun first. So the standard penetration on the Type 85-3 is 590. On the Merkava, 527. So that's considerably better. On the BM, 606. ATU, 606. M1A1, 592. Leopard 2A4, 590, and on the Charlie 1 it's 493. So from a penetration point of view, it's not massively high, but it's not on the lower end either. It's sitting in the middle. The gold rounds, however, this is where there is a slight change. So 643 mil of pen on the 85-3. The Merc 2B comes in at a staggering 800, which is insane. The BM 697, which is again much higher than the 85-3. T80 is exactly the same as the BM. The M1 Abrams, M1A1, sorry, is 740. Leopard 2A4, 710. And the Charlie 1 is 568. So the Charlie 1 is let down by the numbers, but the Type 85 is slightly better. And really, these numbers can be deceiving, because you could look at that and think, oh, that's terrible. You know, that tank must be awful. It's like, well, it really isn't. The Challenger 1 has statistically a worse gun, but the Chally 1 is a very good tank. It's absolutely nothing wrong with the Chally 1 whatsoever. So the Type 85-3 is another one that's going to fit the same sort of mold. It's like, okay, if the Chally 1's not bad, then, you know, Type 85-3 can't be that bad either. And you wouldn't be wrong if you thought that. The Type 85-3, I think it's actually quite a good tank. And even though these other tanks have higher numbers, you know, whether you've got 800mm of pen or you've got the 85-3, 643, I mean, if you aim for weak spots and you know what you're doing, 643mm of pen is more than enough to do the job. Yes, 800 looks nicer, it's a bigger, shinier number, but really, not necessary. Sometimes it is, but not all the time. So statistically speaking, yes, the 85-3 is down, but it doesn't really matter. And when you're on the battlefield, it's not something you really notice. I haven't noticed it anyway. So if we continue through the stats here, the 85-3 has got 3,800 hit points, Merc 2B 4,000, the BM 3,900, ATU 3,850, M1A1 3,900, 2A4 3,950, and the Chally 1 3,850. So again, yeah, its hit points are low, but you've got 100, 150, 50 hit points difference. Yes, you could argue that that could be the difference between winning and dying, but I've found that playing sensibly, avoiding getting shot means, well, it's not that big a problem, to be honest. I've not found it to be that big a problem, so you know, you can make it work. Top speed of the the unboosted top speed of the 85-3 is 65 kilometers an hour. Merc is also 65. The BM 71, T80 74, Abrams 68, Leopard 2A4 is 79, Chally 1 is 72. So yes, it is slow compared to those around it. But again, when I'm playing it, I'm not thinking, oh my word, this thing is so slow. I'm thinking, okay, it you know, it is what it is. It's fine. It's no problems, no issues. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough on these Chinese tanks because for whatever reason they're just not popular. I think I know why they're not popular, but maybe the stats are what let it down. People look at the stats and they go, oh, it's just not that great. But when you play them, it's like, yeah, they're actually not bad. They're really not bad. So my advice to the community is give these tanks a shot. Yes, I know you've got to get through the lower eras. You've got to get through Era 1 and Era 2. But just give it time. If the grind is too painful, just start off with doing the daily ×2. Don't waste your XP boosts if you don't want to. If the tank's too painful to play at Era 1 or Era 2, just play your daily ×2, do that every day, and work your way up through the XP requirements that way. Because these Era 3 tanks they're good, in my opinion. They're very good, in my opinion. And they don't get the love they deserve. And another suspicion I have is they're not as popular as they could be because the Era 1 and Era 2 are too painful and people just aren't getting to Era 3. That could also be it. Maybe the line needs some love. My guess is that it probably does. But there you go, guys. That is number 5 on the bottom 10 tech tree tanks in Cold War. That's all I've got for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please leave it a like. If not, a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next one.